And so without further ado, let us say hello to the legend himself. It's been far too long since I spoke to Ray Longo. There he is. Hello, old friend. How are you, sir?
What do we owe this occasion to, Ariel? Seriously.
I mean, this is a big deal, Ray. This is a big freaking deal. Look at you getting all kinds of love. People forgot just how great you were. Isn't it nice? You're being showered with praise.
Yeah, it's always nice, and I am grateful for every positive comment that comes my way. And before I get, a shout out to Chuck Mindenhall too. You sent me that tweet. I thought that was very nice. I haven't seen Chuck in a long time. I hope he's well. But thank you, buddy, and thank you, Ariel, for putting that up. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was beautiful. It was great. And again, 3 homegrown champions now. By the way, do you agree with what I said? Like, do you view this as the official title victory, or are we a year late with this praise? Was the one last year the official title victory? Because it was weird, right? It was different. This was, How do you feel?
It was weird. Look, it was very weird. In my heart, I wanted, it was unfortunate what happened. It looks like everybody focused in on just that moment and the acting and all the bullshit. The guy got kneed in the head. Execution style was horrible. But for me as a coach, I wanted to see Aljo win it the exact way he won it on Saturday night. And I'm super proud of him. He had to endure a lot of bullshit. We're all human. I mean, the torture that he got, and you have to sit there and think about it, and, all the negativity, and just, he's special, man. He overcame that. And I knew it after the Marlon Moraes fight when he got knocked out. He came back, and I knew he was really mentally in a different spot than most people are, because that's not easy to do, and it's not easy to sit there for a year or 13 months and put up with the shit. And even myself was crazy. So yeah, this is the way I like it. I always recognize him as the champ. The rules are the rules. I didn't know the rules when he got kneed in the head. I just didn't want to see him fight because I thought it was wrong, and he was 100% compromised. And for the people that said he was acting at, like, what point did he start acting? That's the thing I want to know, because I don't know what they're looking at, but it was a vicious knee, and they made the right call, and the guy should have been penalized, and he got the ultimate penalization, and that was it. Yeah. So this, to your point, yeah, this to me is just satisfying, and I think that's part of the problem. The confusion was for everybody, So it's a great feeling. It's redemption to the highest point.
I can't imagine what the last 13 months were for him, like what they felt like, how they were. And in addition to that, you get the neck surgery and whatnot. We see the way he handles it in the public eye, but behind closed doors, like with you, could you even describe how difficult this was for him to deal with all the hate, to deal with the abuse, the Twitter stuff, the social media stuff, and then the next stuff on top of all that? You don't know how you're going to come back, if you're going to come back.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, Ari, you'd have to talk to him to see exactly what, how he was feeling. But from my standpoint, I watched him get tortured. And, even with the neck surgery, like you say, he said from day one he felt great, and I'm glad he never wanted to fight in October. He never mentioned that to me. I thought it was too soon, and I'm glad they waited. He felt great. And, Aljo's he's an honest guy. He's a great guy. I don't think there's a bad bone in that guy's body. I don't know why. I could see maybe why people boo him. They don't like something about him, but he's really just not even a malicious guy. He does this. He kind of said in the press conference, Long Island, everybody's just busting balls, and it's kind of the way we grow up, and maybe it's different for the rest of the world. But the guy, I can't say enough good things about him. He runs great classes here. He gives out to the community a lot. He helps those kids with the wrestling. He never forgot his roots, where he came from. And I just want people to focus in on the good things that this guy does.
What was your level of confidence going into the fight, considering how the first fight went? Seemed like no one was giving him a chance. Obviously, you believe in your guy, but things had to go really differently, especially early on. Your level of confidence going into this one, because some guys just have the other guy's number, right? I mean, this is a crazy sport. Right. How were you feeling going into the fight? Now that it's over, you could be honest.
I was feeling very, very confident. Look, I talked to him and I said, you got to be honest with me with the food thing, because he had everything was good right up until the fight, and he, I believed him. He said he just didn't feel good, and based on his training, you could see all the interviews I did, and the when I was even on the Anik Florian thing, where I said, I just believe I have the better guy. Very, very confident, maybe too confident. So I had to pull back a little bit, because every time you think something's great, something goes wrong. so it's like almost a superstition. But I think we all felt confident. His training was dead on. He put the time in. He never complained of one injury this camp, which is unusual. Always something. But I believe him. I'm a real, as a coach, I got to see, is there delusion in there? Is there anything? He told the truth from day one. And look, it was a different fight. And people could say whatever they want. They think it was close. The first round. Here's the bottom line, Ariel. They had that kid getting killed, period. They had him getting killed. He's not coming out of the first round. And then when that doesn't happen, they got to revert to we're down to the first round with like 6 punches thrown. Like, are you freaking kidding? The guy was supposed to get mauled and killed, and he shut everybody up, man. And I'll tell you what, it's only going to get worse for Jan as these fights go on, because I think the more comfortable Aljo gets and the healthier he could stay, he's just going to get better and better. He really was fighting injured, like most of my guys, which nobody believes. But you know what Chris went through, and he might not even have had a healthy fight ever. From his college days, he just battled through stuff. So it's it was just nice to see, and he's a nice kid, and I think people should get behind him.
What are you thinking after the first round? How did you feel about it? Obviously, in the moment you're coaching, but did you think he got that? It really comes down to that one, right? 2 and 3, it's all Aljo. 4 and 5, it's Jan. It comes down to that one. In your opinion, what were you feeling in retrospect after that first 5 minutes?
I was confident. Look, one of the things was, we don't want you standing in front of him. The movement's got to be on point. We could maybe walk him into stuff. We know he's linear. He comes straight in. So he started out doing exactly what we wanted him to do. I thought he won that. I thought he won. He definitely wasn't running from the guy. I thought his footwork was purposeful, and defensively he was good. And I thought his kicks were hard. And I was confident he won the first round. When we got to the scorecards and I heard split decision, I did start to panic a little bit. But up until that point, I thought we had 1, 2, and 3 with a possible 10-8 in the second, depending on what they were looking at. But the other thing, Ariel, too, is Jan was the only guy ever in trouble in that fight, right? He was in the bad position. He had no explanation or no way of getting out of the body triangle. He didn't have an answer for it. And Aljo just did his thing, man. He kept him off tilt with the takedown attempt. So he was always reacting instead of acting. And I thought he did a great job. He won the fight. And again, I don't, you want to break it down to a 2-second thing in the first round. All you guys that said that the guy was going to get smashed and killed and, not a chance. And now what? What happened to that? What happened to the boogeyman? He's not the boogeyman anymore. Aljo's the boogeyman now, right? That's kind of why even I got fired up. I'm like, this is the guy that, everybody thinks is going to kill you. Take a look at him. He didn't look too good to me.
Oh my God, what a clip. That was amazing. Look at that MFer. Look at that MFer. Could you even put into words what's going on in your body and your mind in those moments? You get so fired up. Again, I wish anytime you coach a fight or corner someone, I wish we can just choose that audio and listen to the entire time, because it's great theater. Can you describe what is going on when your guy is gaining momentum and you're trying to fire him up and you're fired up?
Yeah, I'm loving it. And again, there was a lot of tension, Ariel, in the build up to this fight. I'm in New York. I'm getting ready to leave, and this guy's saying he's going to kill his team on site. And I'm like, wait, what? You're threatening me in my own fucking country? It wasn't a good look for him. Nothing was going to happen. It would have been the stupidest thing he could even have tried. And I think, for me, that was the buildup. Even, maybe that added to the emotion, because I was, you're kind of aggravated. It's it's insulting. Somebody's threatening to kill you. Are you joking? So I think it was all part of that. And I just want Aljo to realize and to give him a boost that, you got this, man. You got this. And, because you don't know what builds up in his mind over 13 months. Maybe there's self-doubt in there too that nobody knows about. So I just wanted to erase that and just get him in a great mindset and amp him up. He had the best, he had guys that he loves behind him that Merab would take a bullet for this guy. He is by far the ultimate teammate possible. I mean, I can't even explain that. And I think Aljo would tell you the exact same thing. And he's got Iaquinta and Morab, those guys were in Georgia together. They're really brothers, man. And I think that's a big part of it.
You know him so well. Could you even sense his confidence growing from round one? He's a human being. He was just in there a year ago with the guy for 4 rounds, and it didn't quite go his way. Could you feel that he was changing after that first round, after the second round, that he was starting to puff his chest out and believe in himself a little more?
Yeah, well, look, here's the deal, too. He always believed in himself. He really was so positive before this fight. Not only was he physically prepared, he was really just mentally prepared. I was in awe of what I was watching the last couple of weeks. He definitely he understands his body. You know what I mean? He pulled back when he had to pull back. He did a great job. I mean, those guys did a great job working with him too. Everybody. This is a long time coming, right? But I said that. Like he believed it, I believed it, and when he believes it, I believe it. The team believes it. It's time to go, and I think that's what you saw, and I think that's what you saw in all the fights with Matt, with Weidman. It's just the belief is a big deal. They all have the technical ability. And just to believe in yourself and to go out there and perform that's the ultimate satisfaction.
What did you think when you saw him get emotional on the scale on Friday morning?
Was that at the ceremonial weigh-in?
No, in the morning weigh-ins.
The other weigh-in.
Oh, the morning.
That weigh-in I missed, but he was emotional throughout everything. I heard him on some interviews where he had to stop and. Dude, he's a sensitive guy, man. I think people really are reading this guy wrong. He's really he's a nice guy. I don't think I've ever heard him say a bad word about anybody. That's why I say a lot of times, even with the shit talking before, like I'll see the other guy and they sometimes say, hey, I didn't mean to go too far. I go, he doesn't care. Like he's not malicious. He really isn't. Not that I've seen.
Okay. By the way, you mentioned Matt. We have Matt, Chris, now Aljo. How much did you miss cornering these big fights with your guy Matt Serra? He wasn't there on Saturdays, taking a break, I guess. Do you miss, having him around and going through the whole process and having these big moments with him?
Unbelievable. Of course I do. I mean, look, I'm not here without Matt Serra. You know what I mean? So it kind of kills me that he wasn't there, but he had a family obligation. And I'll tell you, Matt's all about family. And I loved that about him. And, we got older, you know what I mean? So, I think he always told me, look, when you stop, I'm done. You know what I mean? But I think he anticipated I'd drop dead already and I wouldn't be around. So I don't think they can't get rid of me at this point. It's actually pathetic. But no, I miss him dearly. First thing I texted him was, man, I just wish you were here. Not even for the fight, just to defend me in case John's corner tried to beat the crap out of me. So he's always a good guy to have behind you.
Do you think he comes back? Do you think he'll corner again like he did in the past?
100%. 100%.
Okay. And by the way, like for you, how much longer do you want to do this for? No,
I have no idea.
Is there any part of you that's golly?
Yeah, my left hip.
Yeah,
told me to get out. But I don't know. I mean, look, I love the sport, so I want to be involved some way. But I'm definitely gonna pull back and just even watching these guys work together. It's like I could definitely adapt a different role at this point. I think getting beat on at this point is getting a little. Look, it keeps you young though. I do believe without this, I'd probably drop dead quick. So I feel like you're surrounded by young guys and you're doing what you love to do. I was always a martial artist first, and I'm never stopping that. I don't care. I'll be doing that till I'm 90. God willing. But I don't know. It's getting it's a crazy ride. I wish it would have happened when I was a little younger, but it is what it is. And I do feel great. I mean, I literally feel great. I love what I'm doing. Love working out every day. Just, it's all good.
So there's no part of you that's like, man, I can't take this stress anymore. You've been involved in some of the biggest fights ever. Still love it. Still have the passion for it. Still enjoy the highs and lows as much as you were 10 years ago or so.
So, yeah,
That's
I
great.
really do. I think, I'll say it like I'm getting out of here. I can't take it. And then it's over and I'm back in there again.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even take a day off. I came in and started teaching. That's why I was asking you what time we were doing the interview. So, because there's people that have to decompress, like doctors, lawyers, guys with high stress jobs. So, I feel like I'm obligated to do whatever I can. I don't want to cut them out either. So.
By the way, do you remember the first time you met Aljo?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
What was that? What was that story?
I think he came in with Al, and he just asked him, very inquisitive, asked him a lot of questions about the gym. And then I thought he was coming on board, and then like weeks go by, and I go, wow, what happened to Aljo? Is he here? He's not here? And he said, no, he's here. So I don't know. He was very, very inquisitive, like he is today. Then he brought his brother in to talk to me. I do remember. He's a very nice guy. I watched him do a couple of things, and I swear he's just super talented right off the bat.
Did you feel like he had what it like early on? You're like, oh, this guy's something. You never know, right? You never know who goes here, there, what their career pans out, how it all shakes out. But did you feel like he had that thing to become a UFC champion?
Yeah, I think we all said that right from the beginning. He definitely at the beginning was John Jones-esque, right? He had all the similar attributes. He had the wrestling pedigree, and his striking, although I don't know if he understood it, I think he was mimicking a lot of stuff. Once he started to break it down and understand it, I think it really helped him out a lot. And, Matt did a great job with the jiu-jitsu. He said it in the countdown. There's black belts and there's Serra jiu-jitsu black belts. There's a big difference. He's got great guys over there, world-level jiu-jitsu guys that help him out. So he's in a good spot. His jiu-jitsu is literally off the hook, so. And
for you, do you have to go?
No.
Okay. And for you, like to see some of these guys, like Chris, like Al, obviously Matt, the guys that kind of put yourself on the map, to see some of them get older now and have to start thinking about life after fighting. What is that like for you as their grandmaster, to see them have to transition slowly but sure? They're not quite there yet, but Father Time undefeated. How do you react to that?
I hate to say this, but it's like that circle of life. I feel like, like my father being happy for my success, like now I look at these guys and, I'm an older guy now, and I'm happy for their success. I'm not saying they're like kids to me, but they're very close friends, and, who doesn't want to see their friends do well, right? So that's really important, how well all of these guys have done. I always said this even years ago, it's way more important to me than fighting, but they all, Matt just transitioned beautifully into the schools. He loves his school. He's got a great family. He's got the podcast. He branded his personality. Weidman did phenomenal with, financially, set his family up. He's living great. Al, they're all doing great, man. So, I'm like a proud papa, I guess, as much as I think I'm still 20 years old. When I sit down and think about it, I just sit back and I'm glad they're all doing well, and they really are doing great, man. Do
you feel like you have a nice young crop of Aljos and Als and Chris Weidman's coming up as well? How do you feel about the future of the team?
I think there's a lot of guys. Aljo said at the press conference that you should see a couple other guys on the Contender Series this summer that'll make some waves. Yeah, there's a bunch of young guys coming up, and I'm going to say we have 5 or 6 guys that'll be in the UFC.
Really? Wow. That's a good amount.
Yeah, it's a good amount. I mean, for a small, look, we're definitely a small school. We don't get any financial help from anybody. The story to me is amazing. I'm proud of everything everybody's accomplished. We really, even these 3 guys, they're like 3 miles apart from each other. They're all homegrown guys from the neighborhood. I don't think anybody will ever do that. I don't think anybody's done that,
No.
Just neighborhood kids, starting their career here and finishing where they were. And, and I'd like to throw Al fighting Khabib in for the championship too, because, Al's one of my favorite guys, but just what he accomplished in that fight, I think was phenomenal. So I'm proud of it. I just want to see him successful. It has nothing to do with the fighting. As long as they hold on to their money, they take care of their families, and they move forward, it's all good.
Are you in favor of Aljo fighting TJ Dillashaw next? Is that what you'd like to see, or do you have another idea?
Nah, anybody's good. He's the champ. He's got to fight anybody they put in front of him.
So you don't mind considering, he only fought once since the suspension. There's Henry Cejudo out there. I don't know if there was someone else that came to mind, but it seems like that's what Aljo wants based off the post-fight interview, right?
I haven't even talked to Aljo. I obviously was at the interview with him. hey, the UFC is going to do what they're going to do. They're going to look to it's a numbers game, right? So they're going to look to whoever could draw the biggest numbers. I'm sure that's the fight they're going to put together. And the Cejudo thing is crazy that he entered the pool again,
yeah.
inside the pool, which is nuts. So look, he's got a lot of great fights potentially down the line.
And by the way, just for yourself, curious, I talked to Chris about this a little bit, but last 2 years, tough for every small business owner. And I know New York's super tough. How was it for you? I mean, obviously, thank God you're standing, you're thriving, the gym is back open, but were you worried at any point about this business that you had poured so much of your life into during those, uncertain times in the early days of the pandemic?
Yeah, I'm going to say, yeah, I think everybody was worried. But we did what we had to do. And I'm going to tell you, the fighters, the people in the gym, they kept the school open. Yeah. Everybody banded together. We did it, and the landlord, I said, look, if we're going to do this, you got to do it together. So I'm not doing anything. I'll get the hell out of here. And he did the right thing. So, yeah, we were able to keep it going. Like, I might have only been out of the gym 6 weeks. I mean, I came back pretty quick. And that was it. Yeah, I'm going to say we did what we had to do, but everything, knock on wood, everything worked out good, but definitely a stressful time. And, Chris ended up moving I mean, right in the beginning of this, like in the middle, I think I told somebody we're going to be unrecognizable when this is over. And we lost Aljo moved to Vegas, Weidman's in Carolina, who's going here. So kind of stinks that way, but I'm glad, at least for this fight, Aljo did his camp here. And I think it was a big difference.
And those send-off videos that you guys were doing in the those were incredible. I would strongly suggest keeping them up, regardless of pandemic or no pandemic. Just great theater. And then the Volante one was great. I mean, just amazing.
the Volante one I thought was awesome. I
amazing.
Thought that was the best. That might have been the best one. You know what it is? I mean, I love being a part of this. Anything I could do, anything I could. I'm there. I'm really there to uplift their spirits and to let them know that, they got people behind them. And I hope it makes a difference. But, I came up with those videos just because I wanted to do something and I couldn't be at the fight. So that's what we did. And everybody, we loved doing them. It was exciting. And I'm glad they went over as big as they did because I was just doing it for the guys, but it got a lot of attention and it was fun.
Well, it was great to see you on top again. Great to see you recognized. That clip of you saying, look at that MFer, just amazing. Every time they went to you after the first round, it was just amazing. You're just, you're a huge credit to the sport, and we're lucky that you're in the sport. And it was nice to catch up with you again, Ray, after all these years.
Yeah, this was too long. Come on.
I know.
Barry, how long do we know each other?
I know it's because, I was out, I was this, ESPN, but now we're back. This is the old show.
Yeah,
we're back.
You got to keep moving. Running water never goes stale, baby. You got to keep moving. There's no adversity. What are you going to do? You want to be a fighter? You got to get through adversity.
Here I am,
and that's what you're doing.
Still standing strong. F the haters.
You're a champ. You're a champion in your own right, buddy. You know what I mean?
Ray.
So it's all good. And I want to shout out to, again, I know I mentioned it, but Marab Deval Shelley, Ally Aquinta, Dennis Bazooka, hats off to these guys. I don't even want to take all the credit. I don't want to take any credit, but those guys really deserve a lot of credit. They were outstanding what I was looking at, and I'm sure Aljo will tell you the same thing.
Feels like Marab could be the next one.
Yeah, what about Marab? Nobody's even talking about fighting. What's this? I mean, I don't even get it.
I know.
Nobody talks about fighting.
But we have a problem here. I mean, that is going to be inevitable. What are we going to do? We'll deal with that later. I don't want to poo-poo the whole...
We'll deal with that later. Let Marab get his shine fighting some of these top-level guys, which he's already started to do, and I think... he's just a beautiful human being, and another guy can't. I only wish the ultimate success for him.
Well done. Well done. Thank you, Ray. Congratulations to you and the team. Appreciate you doing this, and we will talk again very soon, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you, Ariel.
All right.
And continued success.
Same to you, my friend. Same to you. Great to have you on. There he is, Ray Longo, the one and only